1914, Wilfred Owen. War broke, the winter of the world, with perishing great darkness closes in. A full tornado ascended at Berlin, as over all the width of your world, rending the sails of progress. Rent or furled are all arts a science, verse wails, and again famines of thought and feeling. Love's wines thin, the grain of human autumn rots, downhurled. For after spring had bloomed in early Greek, and summer blazed the glory out with Rome, and autumn softly fell, a harvest home, a slow grand age, in which with all increase. But now for us, wild winter, and the need of sowings for new spring, and blood for seed. A new heaven, by Wilfred Owen. Seeing we never found gay fairyland, though still we crouched by bluebells moon by moon, amidst the tide of life, yet there are soon, for that new bridge with leaves our sphinx have spent, nor ever unto Mecca carved, no bug and Asgard skilled a magic rune, nor yearned for far nirvana the sweet swoon, and from high paradise accursed and bent. Let's their home fail across the channel, or shall we live, God's there? There shall be no severance, where cathedrals light new shrines for us. To us, our knees of boys shall echo reverence, and the girls' breasts clear, strong acropole, where our own mother's tears shall heal us whole. Palinode, by Wilfred Owen. Some little while ago I had the mood, and what we know as nature seemed to me so sympathetic, ample, sweet and good, referred to society. Not for a season, be it understood, be altogether impartially. As far as feeling went, I thought I could be quit of men live independently. For men and minds, heart humours and heart's teeth, they stir without exciting, whereas woods, where seasonal change and the changing seas, were both soul-rousing and sense-lulling moods, such moods prolonged became a mania. Over the stark stretch of the beak-blown moor, these barren of all places, where transient populace and town things to ignore. And if a sovereign sun I might behold, with condescending coming down within, and blessing all the field and air of gold, and contentment of the world was mine. In secret deserts where the night was nude, and each existing star grew ardent-eyed, I tasted more than this life's plenitude, if I was far as stars perceive I spied. Once, in the whiteness of the spectral moon, had terrorized the creatures of the wold, and with long staring of the glazed-eyed, had stupefied the animated cold. I felt seduced into a madness, for forgetting in that night the life of days, said that no need of fellows more, I madly hated men in all their ways. Hated, feeling hated, supposed that others did not need me any more. Book of human knowledge I've enclosed, passion, art, science, trifles to ignore. But in my error man ignored not me, did not let me in my moonbeams bask, and I took antidotes. What they be, unless yourself be poisoned, do not ask, for I am overdosed. The city now holds all my passion, these my songmost fields, crowds surging, record of traffic, market row, bridges, sonorous under rapid wheels, pacific lamentations of bell, smoke of the old man at their doors, all attitudes of children, the well and casting off of ships for far-off shores. An Imperial Elegy, by Wilfred Owen. Not one corner of a foreign field but a span as wide as Europe, an appearance of the Titan's grave and the length thereof 1,000 miles, and across all Europe like a mystic road was the Spirit's path alive on the night, not a voice crying, "This is the power of glory." Antaeus, by Wilfred Owen. Saw neck to step on neck, obstinately knee to knee, wrestled those two, and peerless Hercules could not prevail nor get at any advantage. So those huge hands that small had snapped great snakes, that set the riffings of Antaeus' wrists. Those heroes' hands that wretched the necks of bulls, that fumbled round the slim Antaeus' limbs. Baffled, anger swelled in Heracles, and terrible he grappled border arms, and more firmly fixed his grasped feet. Up his back the muscles bulged and shone like climbing banks and domes of towering cloud. And we watched the wrestling, say he laughed, not so loud as on orifices of old. Anthem for Doomed Youth, by Wilfred Owen. What passing bells for weeds so die as cattle, only the monstrous anger of the guns, only the stuttering rifles' rapid rattle can patter out their hasty orisons. No mockeries for them, nor prayers, nor bells, nor any voice of mourning self-acquires. The shrill, demanded cries of wailing shells, and buggles calling for them from sad shies. What candles may be held to speed them all, not in the hands of boys, but in their eyes shall shine the holy glimmers of goodbyes. The pallor of girls' brows shall be their pall, the flowers the tenderness of patient minds, and each slow dusk a drawing down of blinds. Arms and the Boy by Wilfred Owen. Let the boy try along with bayonet blade, or cold steeless, and keen with hunger of blood, blue with all malice like a madman's flesh, and thinly drawn with famishing for flesh. Lend him to stroke these blind, blunt bullet heads, which long to muzzle in the hearts of lads, or give him cartridges of fine sink teeth, sharp with the sharpness of grief and death. Those teeth seem for laughing round an apple, there lurk no claws behind his fingers supple, and gaunt will grow no talons at his heels, nor antlers through the thickness of his curls. As bronze may be much beautified by Wilfred Owen. As bronze may be much beautified by lying in the dark dim soil, so men of fate and dust of warfare fade fairer, and still blooms their soul. Like pearls which noble worn were, and tarnishing while confined, under the old salt sea to feed, men return more lustrous than we were. But what of them buried profound, buried where you can no more find, who lie dark forever under abysmal war? Asleep by Wilfred Owen. Under his helmet, up against his back, after so many days of work on waking, sleep took him by the brow and laid him back. There in the happy no time of sleeping, death took him by the heart. There heaved the quaking of the aborted life within him leaping, and chest and sleepy arms once more fell slack. And soon the slow, stray blood came creeping from the intrusion lead like ants on track. There was deeper sleep, less shaded by the shaking of great wings, and the thoughts that hung with stars, high pillowed on calm pillows of God's making. Above these clouds, these rains, these sleets of lead, and these winds scimitars, or whether yet his thin and sodden head confuses more with the low mould, sere being one with the grey grass of finished fields, whereas cracks rusty old, who knows, who hopes to troubles, let it pass. He sleeps less tremulous, less cold, when we who wake and waking say alas. At the Calvary near the Ancre, by Wilfred Owen. One ever hangs where sheltered roads part, and with war he too lost a limb, but his disciples hide apart, and his soldiers bear with him. Near Golgotha strodes many a priest, and in their faces there's pride, and they were flesh marked by the beast, by whom the gentle Christ's denied. The scribes and all the people show from bold allegiance to the state, where you love a greater love, lay down their life, do not hate. But I was looking at the permanent stars, by Wilfred Owen. Buggles sang, saddening in the evening air, and Buggles answered, sorrowful to hear. Voices of boys, where the river side, sleep mothered them, and let the twilight sad. The shadow of the morning weighed on men, voices of old despondency resigned, bowed by the shadow of the morrow slept. Dying tone, receding voices with the wind of return, wailing of the high, far-travelling shells, and the deep cursing of the provoking. The monstrous anger of our taciturn guns, and the stir of the insults of the mouths. Conscious, by Wilfred Owen. His fingers wake and flutter up the bed. His eyes come open with a pull of will, held by the yellow mayflowers by his head. A blind cord drawls across the window-sill, how smooth the floor of the warder's water jug. And who's we talking, somewhere out of sight? Why are we laughing? What's inside the jug? Nurse, doctor, yes, all right, all right. But sudden does bewilder us all the year. There seems no time to want a drink of water. Nurse looks so far away, and everywhere music and roses burn for crimson slaughter. Cold, cold, he's cold, and yet so hot. And there's no light to see the voices by, no time to dream and ask, he knows not what. Dulce et Decorum Est by Wilfred Owen. Bent double like old beggars under sex, knock-kneed, calling like hacks, we cursed for sludge, till on the haunting flares we turned our backs, and towards the distant rest began to trudge. Men marched asleep, many had lost their boots, but limped on, bloodshot, all went lame or blind. Drunk with fatigue, deaf even to the hoots of gas shells dropping softly behind. Gas, gas, quick, boys! Axe, you're fumbling, fitting the clumsy helmets just in time, but someone still was yelling out and stumbling and floundering like a man on fire on limb. Dim through the misty panes and thick green light, as under a green sea I saw him drowning. In all my dreams before my helpless sight, he plunged at me, guttering, choking, drowning. If in some smothering dreams you too could pace behind the wagon where we flung him in, and watch the white eyes riffing in his face, his hanging face, like a devil sick of sin, you could hear at every jolt the blood come gargling from the fourth corrupted lungs, obscene as cancer, bitter as the cut of vile, incurable sores on innocent hands. My friend, you would not tell with such high zest to children ardent for some desperate glory, the outlie. Dulce et Decorum Est, Pro Patria Mori. Elegy in April and September, by Wilfred Owen. Hush, hush, missing thrush, I listen at the flash of footsteps through the loose leaves, the low whistle of the water's brim. Still, daffodil, nay, hail me not so gaily. Your gay gold lily daunts me and deceives, who follow gleams more golden muslin. Look, brook, or run and look, or run. The vain reeds shook, yet search till grey sea heavens, and I will stray among these fields for him. Gaze, daisy, stare through hazen glare, and mark where are the stars so dawns and eves, from my ether thus and the star winds dim. Close rose and drop heliotrope and shudder hope, shattering winter blows. Drop heliotrope and close and rose, morn corn and syri, mangana you, where youth's head lies forlorn, syri and morn corn. Brood, wood, and muse use, the waistcoat's use we have not understood, muse, use, and brood, wood. From my diary, July 1914, by Wilfred Owen. Leaves murmuring by myriads in the shimmering trees, lives waking with wonder in the Pyrenees, birds chilly chirping in the early day, bards singing of summer skipping through the hay, bees shaking the heavy dews from bloom on front, boys bursting the surface of the ebony pond, flashes of swimmers carving through the sparkling cold, flashes gleaming with wetness to the morning gold, a mead bordered about with warbling water brooks, a maid laughing the laugh of me and proud of looks, the heat throbbing between the upland and the peak, a heart quivering with passion to my pressed cheek, braiding of floating flames across the mountain brow, brooding of stillness and the sighing of a bow, stirs of leaflets in the gloom, soft petal showers, stars expanding with the starred nocturnal flowers. Futility, by Wilfred Owen. Movement of the sun, gentle its touch awoke him once, at home whispering of fields unsown. Always it awoke him, even in France, till this morning in the snow. If anything might rouse him now, the kind old sun will know. Think how the wakes the seeds, woke once the glaze of a cold star. A limb so dear achieved, our sights full nerved, still warm, too hard to stir. Was it for this the clay grew tall, or what made fatuous sunbeams toil to break earth's sleep at all? Greater Love, by Wilfred Owen. Red lips are not so red as the stained stones kissed by the English dead. Kindness of wood and wooer seem shamed to their love pure, or love your eyes so lure, when I behold eyes blinded in my stead. Your slender attitude trembles not exquisite like a limb's knife's good, rolling and rolling where God seems not to care, to the fierce love of a beer, crimson and death's extreme decrepitude. Your voice sings not so soft, or even as wind murmuring through reft-thread loft. Yet your voice is not dear, gentle and evening clear, as whereas none now hear, nor earth has stopped with highest mouthed chord. Heart you were never hot, nor large, nor full like hearts made great with shot. And though your hand be pale, paler are all which trail your cross through flame and hail. Weep, you may weep, for you may touch them not. Happiness, by Wilfred Owen. Ever again to breath pure happiness, so happy to give away our toy? We smiled at nothings, needing no cares. Have we not laughed too often since with joy? Not stoned to strange and sorrowful wrongs, for our hands pardoning, the sun may cleanse in time and starlight. Life will sing great songs, and God will show us pleasures more than man's. And heaven looks smaller than the old toil's home, no distinct places left in bloom will bloom, and while arms of trees have lost their scope. Former happiness is unreturning. Boys' griefs are not so grievous as our yearning. Boys have no sadness, sadder than our hope. Has your soul sipped, by Wilfred Owen? Has your soul sipped of the sweetness of all sweets? Has it well supped, but yet hungers and sweats? I've been witness of strange sweetness, all faints surpassing past all supposing. Passing rays of the rubies of morning, of soft rise of the moon, of a meaning known to the rose, of a mystery and morning. Sweeter than nocturnals, of a wild nightingale, of than love's nectar, of the life's gale. Sweeter than odors of living leaves, sweeter than ardors of dying loves. Sweeter than death and dreams hereafter to one in earth or life in its lava. Of proud round the victor worth, of the last end of all wars. Of sweet murder after long guard, and of a Martha smiling at God. To me was that smile faint as a one worn mirth faint and exceeding small in the boy's murdered mouth. Of whom's throat the life-tide leaps, there was no fret on his lips. With the bitter blood and the death smell, all his life's sweetness bled into a smile. Hospital Barge by Wilfred Owen. Barging the sluggard ripples of a Somme, a barge round old Carrisley slowly slewed. Softly her engines down the current's route, and chuckled softly with contented hymn. The veil tinkling struck the croonings dumb. The waters rumbling at the stern subdued, the lockade took her bulging amplitude. Gently from out the gurging lock she swam. When reading by that calm bank shaded eyes to watch the listenings westward quietly. When, as she neared the bend, a funnel screamed, and with long lamentation made him wise how unto Avalon and agony kings passed in the dark barge which Merlin dreamed. I know the music by Wilfred Owen. All sounds have been as music to my listening, pacific lamentations of slow bells, the crunch of boots on blue snow, rosy glistening, shuffle of autumn leaves and all fir bells. Buckets that sadden all the evening air, and country bells clamouring their last appeals before the music of the evening prayer. Bridges sonorous under carriage wheels, gurgles loosing surge through hollow rocks, relentless lapping of waves on reeds, whisper of grass, mirth-tinkling flocks, bubbling drawl of flutes and shepherds' reeds. The orchestral noises of October nights blowing symphonic storms of startled clarions, drums, rumbling and rolling thunderous. Thrilling of throstles in the keen blue dawn, we fumbling and thumbing over sainfoil fields. Inspection by Wilfred Owen. You, what you mean by this? I rapped. You dare come on parade like this? Please, sir, it's... Hold your mouth, Sergeant snapped. It takes his name, sir, please, and then dismiss. Some days confined to camp he got for being dirty on parade. He told me afterwards the damned spot was blood his own. Well, blood is dirt, I said. Blood's dirt, he laughed, looking away, far off to where his wounded blood had almost merged forever into clay. World's washing out its stains, he said. It doesn't like her cheeks are red. Young blood's its great objection, and when we're duly whitewashed, being dead, race will be a field marshal God's inspection. Maundy Thursday by Wilfred Owen. Between the brown hands of the server led, the silver cross was offered to be kissed. The man came up, lugubrious but not sad, knelt reluctantly, half predict, and kissed the emblem of a creed. Then mourning woman knelt, with mouths the head, and kissed the body of a Christ indeed. Young children came with eager lips and glad. These kissed a silver dole immensely bright, and I too knelt before that acolyte. Above a crucifix I bent my head. Christ was thin and cold and very dead. Yet about he I kissed, my lips did clinch. I kissed the warm live hand that held the thing. Mental Cases by Wilfred Owen. Who are we's? Why sit we here in twilight? We're four rockway, purgatory shadows, dropping tons from jaws that slop their relish, bearing teeth that leer like skulls tons wicked. Stroke on stroke of pain, but what slow panic, concrete chasms around their fretted sockets. Even from their hair and through their hand palms, misery swelters. Surely we have perished sleeping and walk hell, but who we's hellish? We saw men whose minds the dead have ravished, memory flingers and the hair of murders, multitudinous murders we once witnessed. Waiting sloughs of flesh we's helpless wander, treating blood from lungs with head-loved laughter. Always we must see these things and hear them, batter of guns and shatter of flying muscles, carnage incomparable in human squantor, rugged to thick for these men's extrication. Wherefore still the eyeballs shrink tormented, back into their brains, because on their sense sunlight seems a blood smear, night comes blood black, dawn breaks open like a wound that bleeds afresh, was their heads were with hilarious, hideous, awful forces of sad smiling corpses. Was their hands a plugging at each other, picking at the rope notes of a scourging, snatching after us who smote them brother, pawing us, who dealt them war and madness. Music by Wilfred Owen. I have been urged by earnest violence and drunk the mellow souls to the slake for my souls my thirsting sins. Heart was beaten for brave drum's sake, huge chords have wrought me mighty. I've heard thuds of God's thunder, and without winds pondered over the curse of his chaotic world. Of low-lost winds that mourned as we wandered. I've been gave a tribe of fifths that laugh, and songs more sweet than possible things are sweet, and the gongs and the bows. Yet I guessed not half life's symphony till I had made hearts beat, touched love's body into trembling cries, and blown my love's lips into laughs and sighs. My Shy Hand by Wilfred Owen. My shy hand shapes a hermitage apart, oh large enough for we and thy brief hours. Life is sweeter held than in God's heart, stiller than in the heavens of hollow flowers. Wine is gladder there than in gold bowls, and time shall not rain whence, no trouble spill. Sources between my fingers feed all souls, I've almost cool their lips and draw their fill. 5 cushions have my hand for reveries, and 1 deep pillow for thy brow's fatigues. Languor of June all winter long, and ease forever from the wane and travel leagues. Thither your years may gather in from storm, and love, that sleepeth there, will keep me warm. A world of many worlds, by Wilfred Owen. A world of many worlds, O life of lives, what center hast thou? Where am I? Whither is it thy fierce honour drives? Fight I, or drift, or stand, or fly? The loud machinery spins, points work and touch, wheels whirl in systems, zone in zone. A self having something moved with such, would strike a centre of mine own. Lend hand, or fate, for I am down, am lost, feigning the violence of a dance. Ah, thanks, I stand, the floor is crossed, thine where but few advance. I see men far below me where they swarm, hardly above me, be it so. Their space to compass points conform, and can we say a star stands high or low? Not more complex than millions of the stars, and of the hearts of mortal brothers. As far remote as Neptune from small Mars, as one man's nature from another's. All hold course unturnably fixed, and follow destinies foreplanned. Envy not these lives in the faith unmixed, I would not step with such a band. To be a Mithriel, fast, eccentric, lone, lawless, and passage through all spheres, warning the earth of wider ways unknown, and rousing men with heavenly fears. This is the track reserved for my endeavour, spanless the edging way I wend. Blackness of darkness is my weed forever, a barren plunging without end. O glorious fear, these other wandering souls are burning through, but outer born are lights unto themselves. Fair aureoles, self-radiated, these are worn. When in after times those stars return and strike once more of the horizon, they gather many satellites astern, for they are greater than the system's sun. On my songs, by Wilfred Owen. Though unseen poets many and many a time have answered me as if they knew my woe, and it might seem have fashioned so their rhyme to be my own soul's cry, easing the flow of my dumb tears of language as sweet as sobs, yet are there days when all these hordes of words hold nothing for me. Not one verse that throbs with my heart, or as my brain is fraught. It is when I voice mine own weird reveries, low croonings of a motherless child in gloom, singing his frightened self to sleep. Avis. One night, if thou shouldst lie in this sick room, dreading the dark, thou darest not illume, listen, a voice may hardly lend thee ease. On seeing a piece of our artillery brought into action, by Wilfred Owen. Be slowly lifted up, for long black arm, great gun towering towards heaven, about to curse. Sway steep against them, and for years rehearse huge imprecations like a blasting charm. Reach at that arrogance which needs the harm, and beat it down before its sins grow worse. Spend our resentment, cannon yet disperse our gold in shapes of flame or breaths in storm. Yet for men's sakes, with vast malison, as to the innocent of enmity, be not withdrawn, dark arm, thy spoiler done, safe to the bosom of our prosperity. Thy spirit be cast complete and whole, may God curse thee and cut thee from our soul. Parable of the Old Man and the Young, by Wilfred Owen. So Abram rose and collected the wood, and went and took the fire with him and a knife. And as they sojourned both of them together, Isaac the firstborn spake and said, My father, behold the preparations, fire and iron, but where the lamb for his burnt offering. Then Abram bound the youth with belts and straps, and builded parapets and trenches where, and stretched forth a knife to slay his son. When lo, an angel called him out of heaven, saying, Lay not thy hand upon the lad, neither do anything to him. Behold, a ram caught in a thicket by its horns, of a ram of pride instead of him. But the old man would not so, but slew his son. Preface, by Wilfred Owen. This book is not about heroes. English poetry is not yet fit to speak of them, nor is it about deeds or lands, nor anything about glory, honor, dominion, or power, except war. Above all, this book is not concerned with poetry. The subject of it is war and the pity of war. The poetry is in the pity, yet these elegies are not to this generation. This is in no sense consolatory. There may be to the next. All the poet can do today is to warn. That is why the true poets must be truthful. If I thought the letter of this book would last, I might have used proper names. But if the spirit of it survives Prussia, my ambition in those names will be content, for we will have achieved themselves fresher fields than Flanders. Roundel, by Wilfred Owen. Shrewsbury town in Hercules walks tired, tired of the streets that end nor up nor down, tired of a quarry where seats may be hired of Shrewsbury town. Tired of her tons that knew not his renown, tired of a quarry by laws so admired by the Celopane, the solemn blunt clown. Weak as a babe, and in likewise attired, leaned upon his club, frowned the last frown, and of ineffable boredom so expired in Shrewsbury town. Schoolmistress by Wilfred Owen. Schoolmistress, having with bold Horatio stamped her feet, and waved the finest washing our best of the brave days of old, keys to bleed, slept in Macaulay back upon the desk, with June to come gaze in the lofty seat, where, while she heard the classic lines repeat, once more the teacher's face clenched stern. Through the window, looking on the street, the soldiers hailed her. She made no return, and was called Oris, whom she would not greet. Shadwell Stair by Wilfred Owen. And the ghost of Shadwell Stair, along the wharfs by the waterhouse and through the carvender's slaughterhouse, and the shadowed walks where, at their flesh both firm and cold, and eyes tumulous as the gems of moons and lamps in the full Thames, and their sides wavering down the pool. Shuddering the purple-streaked arc burns, I watch always, the banks dolorously the shipping clangs, and after me a strange tide turns. Walk till the stars of London wane, and dawn creeps up the Shadwell Stair, but when the crowing sirens blare, I with another ghost am lain. 6 o'clock on Princes Street by Wilfred Owen. In twos and threes they have not far to roam, crowds that thread eastward a cave of ice, for seek no further than the quiet home, wives walking westward slow and wise. Ne'er should I go fooling over clouds, following gleams unsafe, untrue, and tiring after beauty through star crowds, dare to go side by side with you. Or be you in the gutter where you stand, pale rain-flawed phantom of a place, with news of all the nations in your hand, and all their sorrows in your face. Smile, smile, smile by Wilfred Owen. Head to limp head, the sunk-eyed wounded scanned yesterday's mail. The casualties, typed small and large, vast boot from our latest haul. Also a read of cheap homes not yet planned, for, said the paper, when this war is done the man's first instinct will be making homes. Meanwhile the foremost need their rooms, it being certain war's just begun. Peace would do wrong to our undying dead. The sons we offered might regret they died, if we go nothing lasting in their stead. We must be solidly indemnified. For all we worth victory which all bought, the ruler sitting in his ancient spot, we were so fought, what wrong our very selves if we forgot the greatest glory will be where so fought, for keep this nation in integrity. Nation? The half-limbed readers did not chafe, but smiled at one another curiously, like secret men who know the secret safe. This is the thing they know and never speak, that England one by one had fled to France, but many elsewhere now safe under France. Pictures of his broad smiles appear each week, and people in those wars real feeling rings say, how they smile, they're happy now, poor things. Soldier's Dream by Wilfred Owen. A dream kind Jesus fools the big gun years, and caused a permanent stoppage in our bowels, and buckled with a smile more than coals, and rusted every bayonet with his tears. There were no more bombs of ours or theirs, not even out flintlock, not even a pickle. And God was vexed, and gave up power to Michael, and woke his scene to our repairs. Song of Songs by Wilfred Owen. Sing with morn, but only with your laugh. Even the spring would laugh into leaf, even as laugh would laugh after life. Sing me but only with your speech all day, as valuable leaflets do, and vials die, at least the word of your lips is melody. Sing me at eve, but only your sigh, like lifting seas it solaceth, breath so slowly and low, a sense that no songs say. Sing me at midnight with your murmurous heart, at youth's immortal moaning chord be heard, throbbing through you and sobbing unsubdued. Sonnet to my friend by Wilfred Owen. If ever I had dreamed of my dead name, high in the heart of London unsurpassed, but time forever, and the fugitive fame, they are seeking a long sanctuary at last. If I one time hoped to hide its shame, shame of success and sorrow of defeats, and I was wholly suppresses the same which shade always the quiet place of Keats, and rather thank God there is no risk of graver scorning it the Floyd's creed. Let my inscription be the soldier's disc. Were it, sweet friend, inscribe no date nor deed, but may the heartbeat kiss it night and day, until the name grow blurred and fade away. Spells and Incantations by Wilfred Owen. A vague pearl, a one pearl, you showed me once, peered through far-gone winters into my mind was fog-bound in the gem. Blue diamonds, cold diamonds, you shook before me, so that out of them glittered and glowed vast diamond dawns of spring. Tiger-eyed rubies, wrathful rubies you rolled. I watched the hot hearts flinch, flames from each glowing summer of my life. Quiet ember, mellow ember, you lifted. Behold the whole air rife with evening and the open autumn cold. That pale skin, your pearl skin, show this to me, and I shall have surprise for every snow-lit dawn before it break. With clear eyes, your fresh eyes open, and I may laugh and lightly take all air of early April in 1 hour. But brown curls shadow me with curls, full of September mist, half gleam, half glower. I shall roam warm nights and lands far south. Storm by Wilfred Owen. His face was charged with beauty as a cloud of glimmering lightning. It shattered me a shock, and was uneasy as a tree that draws the brilliant danger tremulous bolt. So must I tempt the face to lose its lightning. Great gods, whose beauty is death, who laugh above, who made his beauty lovelier than love. I shall be bright with her unearthly brightening. Happy word, if my sap consume, glorious will shine the opening of my heart. The land shall freshen where it was under gloom. Not matter if all men cry aloud and start, and women hide bleak face in their shawl at those hilarious thunders of my fall. Strange meeting by Wilfred Owen. It seemed that out of the battle I escaped down some profound dull tunnel, long since scooped through granites which titanic wars had groaned. It also where encumbered sleepers groaned, too fast and fought or deaf to be bestirred. Then, as I probed them, one sprang up, and stared with piteous recognition and fixed eyes, lifting distressful hands as if to bless. And by his smile I knew that sullen hall. By his dead smile I knew we stood in hell. 1,000 fears that vision's face was grained, yet no blood reached there from the upper ground, and no guns thumped, or down the flues made moan. Strange, friend, I said, here's no cause to mourn. None, said the other, save the undone years, the hopelessness. Whatever hope is yours was my life also. I went hunting wild after the wildest beauty in the world. It lies not calm in eyes or braided hair, that mocks the steady running of the hour. If it grieves, it grieves richly than here. For by my glee might many men have laughed, and of my weeping something has been left, it must I know. I mean the truth untold, the pity of war, the pity was distilled. No man will go content with what we spoiled, or discontent boil bloody and be spilled. They will be swift with swiftness of a tigress, none will break ranks, for nations trek from progress. Courage was mine, and I have mystery, wisdom was mine, and I have mastery. To miss the march of his retreating world into vain citadels that are not veiled. When the blood had clotched the chariot wheels, I would go up and wash them from sweet wells, even with truths that lie too deep for taint. Would have poured my spirit without stint, but not through wounds, not on a cask of war. Foreheads of men have bled where no wounds were. The enemy you killed, my friend, I knew you in this dark, for so you frowned yesterday through me as you jabbed and killed. I parried, my hands were low and cold. Let us sleep now. The Calls by Wilfred Owen. Dismal folk hoarse siren howls at dawn. I watch the man it calls for, pushed and drawn backwards and forwards, helpless as a pawn. I'm lazy and his work's crazy. Quick treble bells begin at 9 o'clock, scutting the scooper pulling up a sock, scanning the late girl in the inky frock. Must be crazy, I learned from the daisy. Stern bells on over rocks and over the 10. I watch a verger close the door, and when I hear the organ moan the first amen, sing my religious same as pigeons. A blatant bucket hears my afternoons. Outclumb the clumsy Tommies by platoons, trying to keep in step with ragtime tunes, but I sit still, I've done my drill. Gongs hum and buzz like scorpion lids at dusk. I see a food hawk whet his gold-filled tusk to eat less bread and more luxurious rusk. And sometimes late at night my window bums from gunnery practice, and my small heart thumbs and listens for the shell shrieks and the crumbs. That's not all. For leaning out last midnight on my sill, I heard the sighs of men. I have no skill to speak of their distress, no, nor of a will. A voice I know, this time I must go. The chances were Wilfred Owen. A mind as overnight a forward show, as 5 got talking, we was in the know. Over top tomorrow, boys were for it. First wave we are, first ruddy wave that's toward. Oh well, says Jimmy ain't seen some scrappin'. Ain't more nor 5 things as can happen. You get knocked out, else wounded, bad or cushy, scupped or not expect you're feeling mushy. One of us got the knock-out blown to chops, the other was hurt, like losing both its props, and one, to use the word of pockets, as the misfortune to be took by Fritz. Now me, I wasn't scratched, praise God Almighty, for next time please I think I'm for blighty. A poor young Jim, his line and needs not, I reckoned 5 chances at. Is wounded, killed, and prisoner all the lot, ruddy lot all rolled and won, Jim's mad. The dead beat by Wilfred Owen. He dropped more sullenly than wearily, lay stupid like a cod, heavy like meat, and none of us could kick him to his feet, just blinked at my revolver barely. Didn't appear to know war was on, or see the blessed trench at which he stared. I'll do him in, he whined, if his hands spared, I'll murder them I will. A low voice said, as blithely perhaps he sees, his plucks all gone, dreaming of all the valiant that are dead. Old uncle smiling minstrelly. Maybe his brave young wife getting a fun in some new home, improved martially. It's not we stiffs have crazed him, nor the Hun. We sent him down at last out of the way, unwounded, that lad to, before that strife, malingering, stretcher bears winged not half. Next I heard the dogs well whiskered laugh. That scum you sent last night soon died, hooray. The End by Wilfred Owen. After the blast of lightning from the east, the flash of clouds the chariot thrown, after the drums of time have rolled and ceased, and from the bronze west long retreat is blown, shall life renew these bodies? If the truth or death will be annual, all tears assuage, or fiery's void veins full again of youth, and wash with an immortal water age? When you ask, white angel, he saved not so. My head hangs weighted with snow. When I hearken to the earth she saved, my fire heart sinks aching, it is death. Mine ancient scars shall not be glorified, when my titanic tears the seas be dried. The Kind Ghosts by Wilfred Owen. She sleeps on soft last breaths, when her ghost looms out of the stillness of a palace wall, her wall of boys and dooms on dooms. She dreams of golden gardens and sweet glooms, but marvelling why her roses never fall, nor what red mouths return to make their blooms. The shades keep down which well might roam her hall, quiet where blood lies in the crimson rooms, and she's not afraid of her footfall. They move not from her tapestries, their pall, nor pace the terraces, the hecatombs, lest aught should be disturbed, or grieved at all. The Last Love, Wilfred Owen. Oh, Jesus Christ, I'm hit, he said, and died. That we vainly cursed the prate indeed, the bullets chirped in vain, vain, vain. Machine guns chuckled, and the big gun gove. Another sighed, oh mother, mother, dead, and smiled at nothing childlike being dead. The lofty shrapnel cloud lazily gestured, fool, and the splinter spat and tittered. My love, one moaned, love languid seemed his mood, that slowly lowered, his whole face kissed the mud. Bayonets along teeth grinned, rebels of shells hooted and groaned, the gas hissed. The Letter by Wilfred Owen. If B.F. Chunten, dear wife, blast with pencil, a bill ends the knife, and the pink of present, dear, I think the war will end this year. We don't see much of him squatting us, we are out of harm's way, not bad fed. I'm longing for a taste of your old buns, say, Jimmy, spares a bit of bread. I don't see much to say just now, hear what, then don't, you radico, give us back my cigarette. I'll soon be home. You mustn't fret, my feet's improvin', as I told you of. You're out in the rest now, never fear. Rudge, my crumbs, and it was near. Mother might spare you half as though Kisnell and Bird, when me and you, what there stands to, Jim gives a hand with pack on, lad. Christ, I'm hit, take old, I bet. No, damn you idling, Jim, right my old girl, Jim, where's the dear? The Next War by Wilfred Owen. Out where we walked quite friendly up to death, sat down and eaten the thin coat and blend. Pardon the spilling mess tins in our hand. You've sniffed the green thick odor of his breath, our eyes wept, our couch didn't riff. He spat at us with bullets and he scored shrapnel. We trowest when he sang aloft, he whistled while we shaved us with a skiff. Oh, death was never enemy of ours, we laughed at him, we leagued with him, our chum. The soldiers paid to kick against his powers, we laughed, knowing that better men would come and greater wars. When each proud fighter breaks he wars on death for lives, not men for flags. The Parable of the Old Man and the Young by Wilfred Owen. Sir Abram rose in clover wood, and went to took the fire with him and a knife. And as they sojourned both of them together, Isaac the firstborn spake and said, My father, behold the preparations, fire and iron, and the lamp for this burnt offering. Then Abram bound the youth with belts and straps, with parapets and trenches were, and stretched forth a knife to slay his son. And lo, an angel called him out of heaven, saying, Lay not thy hand upon the lad, never do anything to him. Behold, a ram caught in the thicket by its horns, of the ram of pride instead of him. The old man would not so, but slew his son, to have a seat of Europe one by one. The roads also by Wilfred Owen. The roads also have the wistful rest, the cocks perch still and roost, and the locks of men turn kind to clocks, and the trams go empty to their dome, the streets also dream their dream. The old houses muse of the old days, and the fond trees leaning on them doze. On the steps chatter and clatter stops for the cries of other times out men, and they hear the unknown moan. They remember alien ardors and far futures, and the smiles not seen in happy features. The begetters call them from the gutters, and the garden's unborn child souls wail, and the dead scribble on walls. Of their own child cry for women tears, women weep, but hear no sound upstairs. They believe in love they had not lived, and passion past the reach of stairs, to the world's towers of stars. The Send-Off by Wilfred Owen. Down the close, darkening lanes they sang their way to the siding shed, and lined the train with fancy grimly gay. Their breasts were stuck all white with reverent spray, as men's are dead. Dull porters watched them, and the casual tramp stood staring hard, so to miss them from the upland camp, when unmoved signals nodded, and the lamb winked to the guard. So secretly, like wrongs hushed up, they went. We were not ours, we never heard to which front we were sent. Nowhere they yet mock what woman meant, who gave them flowers. Should we return to beatings of great bells and wild train loads? A few, too few, for drums and yells, may creep back silent to still village wells, up half-known roads. Sentry by Wilfred Owen. It found an old book dug out, and he knew, and gave us hell for shell and frantic shell, hammered on top but never quite burst through. Rain guttering down on waterfalls of slime kept slush waist high with rising hour by hour, choked up the steps too thick with clay to climb. What murk of air remained that stank out, and saw the fumes of whizbangs and the smell of men who'd lived their years and left their curses in the den, if not the corpses. Where we heard it from the blast of whizbangs, and found our door at last, buffeting eyes and breath snuffing the candles, and what flum what down the steep steps came thumping and splashing in the flat deluged muck, the sentry's body, and his rifle, handles of outboard bombs, and mud and rug on rug. We dredged him up for killed until he whined, Oh, sir, my eyes, I'm blind, I'm blind, I'm blind. Coaxing had a flame against his lids, and said if he could see the least blurred light, he was not blind, and time it get all right. I can't, he sobbed. Eyeballs huge bulged like squids, watched my dreams still. But I forgot them there, and posting next for duty and sending a scout to beg a stretcher somewhere, floundering about to other posts under the shrieking air. Was other wretches, how they bled and spewed, and one who would have drowned himself for good. I try not to remember these things now, a dirk hack back for one on word only. Half listening to the sentry's moans and jumps, and the white chattering of his broken teeth, we knew it was horrible whenever crumbs pummeled the roof and sludged the air beneath. Through the dense din, I say, we heard him shout, I see your lights. Ours had long died out. The Show by Wilfred Owen. My soul looked down from a wake height with death, as unremembering how I rose so white, and saw a sad land, weak with sweats of dearth, grey, shattered like the moon with hollow woe, and fitted with great pox and scabs of plagues. Across its beard, that horror of harsh wire, there moved thin caterpillars, slowly uncoiled. It seemed they pushed themselves to be as plugs of ditches where the rift and shriveled killed. By them had slimy paths been trailed and scraped round myriad walls that might be little hills. From gloom's last dregs these long-strung creatures crept, and vanished out of dawn down hidden holes, and smell came up from those full openings as out of mouths or deep-wounded deepening. On differing feet upgathered more and more brown strings towards strings of grey with bristling spines, or merkins from green fields intent on mire. Those were the grey of more abundant spores, rammed on the rest and ate them and were eaten. I saw the bitten backs curve, loop and straighten, I watched those agonies curl, lift and flatten. Where in terror what that sight might mean, I reeled and shivered earthward like a feather, and there fell with me like a deepening moan, and he, picking a manner of worm, which half had hid its bruises in the earth, but crawled no further, showed me its feet, the feet of many men, and refreshed heat of it my head. The Unreturning by Wilfred Owen. Suddenly night crashes out the day and hurled her remnants over cloud peaks thunderwhirled, and fell a stillness such as harks appalled and far gone dead return upon the world. I watched I for the dead, but no ghost woke, each one whom life exiled named and called. They were all too far, or damned, or fled, and every one fared back to me or spoke. When peered the indefinite unshapen dawn, a vacant gloaming set his half-lit minds, weak-limbed hour when sick men's sighs had drained. And when I wandered on the being withdrawn, gagged by the smothering wing which none unbinds, and dreaded even a heaven with doors so chained. The Young Soldier by Wilfred Owen. There is no death without hereafter the wine and dearth of life and its laughter. Now a sweet murder dealt slow and even under the Martha smiling at heaven. 'Tis a smile, fain as a waning mirth, fain and exceeding small in the boy's murdered mouth. Training by Wilfred Owen. Not this weak nervous month dare lie down and linger under lime trees a smooth smile. Love must not kiss my face pale that is brown. Lips parting shall drink space mile by mile. Strong meats by all my hunger, my renown, a clean beauty of speed and pride of style. Cold winds encountered on racing down shall fill my heated bareness. But a while none else may meet me shall I wear my crown. Wild with all regrets by Wilfred Owen. My arms have mutened against me, brutes, my fingers fitched like 10 idle brats. My back's been stiff for hours, damned hours. Death never gives this quarter stand at ease. I can't read. Where, it's no use. Take your book. A short life and a merry one, my buck. We said we'd hate to grow that old, but now not to live out seems awful. Not to renew my boyhood with my boys, and teaching them hitting, shooting, and hunting, all the arts of hurting. Oh, that's what I learned, better than mocking money. Your 50 years in store seem none too many, but I have 5 minutes, God, for just 2 years to help myself to this good air of yours. One spring, it's one too hard to spare, too long. Spring air would find its own way to my lung, and grow my legs as quick as lilac shoots. Yes, where's the orderly? He'll change the sheets when I'm lugged out. Or couldn't I do that? Here in this coffin of a bed I thought I'd like to kneel and sweep his floors forever, and ask no nights off and the bustle over, for I'd enjoy the dirt with preaches against a grimmed hand when its owns quite dust, less life and specks that in the sun shafts turn. Ye dust in rooms, on roads, on faces 10. I'd love to be a sweeps boy, black as town. Yes, or mugman, must I be his load? A flea would do, if one chap wasn't bloody, or when stone cold, I'd find another body, which I shan't manage now, unless it's yours. I shall stay and you, friend, for some few hours. You feel me heavy spirit chill your chest, and climb your throat and sobs until it's chased and sighs, and ripped from off your lips by wind. I think on your rich breathing, brother, I'll be weaned to do without what blood reminded me for my wound. Winter Song by Wilfred Owen. The browns, the olives, and the yellows died, were swept up to heaven, where we glowed each dawn instead of sun till Christmas tide. The land lay pale for when pale snowed, fell back, and down the snowdrifts flamed and flowed. From off your face in the winds of winter, the sun brown and the summer gold are blowing. I shall gleam with spiritual glinter, fair beauty on your brows full snowing. With those snows, my look should be soft going.